Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. It's fantastic to have you here as ever because we're working on a Viking sword. We've been doing gold inlay and engraving, and today we are going to be removing the gold over the top of the surface of our upper guard, removing the background, making good progress. So it's fantastic to have you along. It's also fantastic to have Trade Coffee sponsoring the episode because I don't feel this energetic inside, and they're giving the first 100 of you guys that click the link in the description below 50% off whatever coffee Trade Coffee's 6-question coffee quiz recommends that you get. When I took the quiz, it recommended this Spy House Colombia and Peru Union coffee, and I've been enjoying this a lot over the last month. So I'm gonna make some coffee, and we're gonna jump right into the work. Some good coffee. I think we're ready to get to work. One of the things I've been failing to do lately has been warm up and practice, so we're gonna do some of that. Lots more practice required, but we gotta get to work. Alrighty, at this point, I have the gold chiseled off, but I also have a couple big problems. As I'm sure you've seen in the time lapses, we have 1 and 2 places where I ripped the gold out. So it means the gold was not secure enough in those places, but I also think I was chiseling too aggressively right at that point. Certainly, when I hit that side one there, I'd come in sideways with the chisel, flush with the material, and I just went conk straight into it. I dug down too much into the gold, and I know I just levered that right out of there. However, up here, I think the issue was that it was not secure enough, because it came out with an aggression of cut that I use elsewhere without any issues. So I've got to fix this. How am I going to do this? I'm going to go back in and I'm going to re-undercut that, or re-deform the undercut. Then I'm going to cut a piece of gold that's going to fit in, hammer that back down in both those spots. Hopefully that's going to work okay. Fix those mistakes, and it should be seamless. I tell you what though, despite those mistakes, I am having an absurd amount of fun because being able to see what I'm doing like this, and I really hope you guys are enjoying the new angle that we've got up here. More gold, let's fix it. got another little error right here that I need to fix. It looks like when I secured the gold here, and then hammered it in, I think I hammered it in with the gold not properly sitting in there, and so it has not properly filled it. I'm going to cut here, extract the gold, re-undercut, reseat the gold, re-chisel it off. I believe that will make a completely invisible fix, just like our wonderful invisible fix up here, and wonderful invisible fix over here. This is all gonna end up looking fine, so let's get to it and fix it. So all of the problems have been fixed and resolved, which is fantastic, because it means that we're moving on to the next step. Now, before the next step on the piece, I want to harvest my gold. That's what the pan is for. I've picked up the pieces that were on the table. I'm gonna take off my tie and carefully get all the gold down into one corner. Pluck out anything that doesn't look like gold, and we'll pour it into our little baggie. I'll put the tie back. And with a little bit of oil, we're going to stone the surface. I know you might be asking, why stoning and not sanding? Well, Lane Zulke, the master engraver who's been giving me some tips, as I mentioned a couple episodes ago, he started a YouTube channel. Go check it out. It's Master Engraver TV. He mentioned that using sandpaper can often mess up the finish as you finish over that gold, because the sandpaper, not being quite as hard as a stone, can sometimes dig down a little deeper into the gold, creating some unevenness in the final surface, and so he recommends stoning. So I'm stoning. Oh, does that look beautiful? Oh, yes. The gold inlay is in. Even at full magnification, I cannot see where I had to put that second piece of gold here. At full magnification, you can see that this area is slightly weird, but then again, I'm not so upset by it because that's my thumb. We're good. 2 thumbs up. So after a little bit of a stoning, it's looking beautiful, and the next step is background removal, of course. Now, why do we background remove? I want to create some depth to it. I want to create contrast. I want to add more color than just gold and silver, silver being the steel. I want to add shadows to it, make it look like it's popping out of the guard. And so the first thing that I want to do is I want to outline all of my lines, and I'm going to do that with a square graver again. This is what a square graver looks like. We've got a face on it, so it's about 50 degrees or so, and then 2 very small little heels like that. But when I was practicing this morning, now that I can see the tip of my tool under such fine magnification, I realized that this is fracturing extremely quickly. This is silver steel, and I hardened this and tempered this with a torch, and I think that I did not temper it enough. So I think it's too brittle. So I'm going to see if I can draw back the temper further. So of course, the ideal tempering on a piece of steel lasts for a long time. It's not so good to do short little tempering cycles like this, but by doing a second tempering cycle, we might achieve a little bit more durability and toughness at the edge. So I'm only gonna go for, again, a straw at the edge for that reason. There we go. There we go, beautiful little straw there. We'll see if it's any better and any tougher. I'm gonna hit it on the diamond stone. People use jigs and proper setups to get their tools looking really, really good and working really, really good. And that is something that I should invest in to help my cuts. We'll just blank out this noise. You can see why I need a jig, but anyway, that is the face roughed in. Now I'm gonna sharpen the heel. And there are the heels. I'm gonna make sure to mark out what is background and what is not. How am I gonna get to that one? Oh, I have a microscope for a reason. So now that our beast has chickenpox around it, let's try out our freshly tempered graver and start cutting. I'm now tilting my graver to the left to try and create a squarer edge on the right. Now let's have a look at the tip. Looks like it's holding up semi-well so far, so let's carry on. Oh! Oh boy, that was not good. That is such a bad scratch. Let's hopefully avoid doing so many of those then. Okay, so as you can see, we have made progress. This thing is looking cool. We're making progress. How has this tool been holding up? Well, I just broke it, but I know exactly how I did. I broke it trying to go around this corner here. Lesson learned. Tight corners, break heels. But up to now, this tool has been doing admirably. I'm pleased to say that I've about done it. That's a 1mm graduation on the ruler. The line is 0.7mm thick there. And that certainly looks like it's about 1/4 millimeter of steel between the channel and the edge. This side is gonna have a level of precision that the other side did not. And I tell you, when I get onto that lower guard is gonna have a level of precision that this stuff did not, because it really feels like with every cut I'm getting better and I'm getting a little more confident. Now, I do make mistakes continuously, and this is riddled with them, but it's like a 2-step forward, 1 step back kind of thing. I think ultimately progress is being made. I've got a few more cuts to make once I resharpen my graver. I'm just got to zip around the head, and that has been outlined, and it is then ready for further background removal. There we go. So my plan with this as we get into the next episode is to remove the background and then have that upper guard completely finished, which is going to be very exciting. As we round this off, I want to thank Trade Coffee for sponsoring this episode and giving all of you guys a fantastic deal, because the first 100 of you to click the link in the description below are going to get 50% off their incredible coffee selection. Trade Coffee's whole mission is to turn coffee drinkers into coffee lovers. They've got an incredible selection of the best seasonal coffees with exceptional taste, and they have a 6-question quiz that is going to help you determine what is the best coffee for you. One thing of note though is they're only shipping to the US right now. As I said earlier, I took the quiz and it said that I'd like a Spy House coffee. I liked the coffee. I love my coffee in the morning. It helps me get a great boost to get cracking here in the workshop, and I love the flavor, especially with a coffee just as good as that. And so please go to the link in the description. Prices start from around 15 bucks a bag, but again, the first 100 of you to click the link and use code Alec at checkout are going to be getting 50% off your bags once you take that quiz and you find out what is the coffee that Trade wants for you. Thank you, Trade, for sponsoring this coffee. Thank you guys for sponsoring this coffee. I need a coffee. I haven't had my coffee this morning. Thank you, Trade, for sponsoring this episode and providing me with some incredible coffee. Thank you guys for coming along. It's usually the evening when I film the outro. Right now it's the morning of the next day. That's fine. Hit that link, use code Alec at checkout, and I will see you on the very, very next episode. Thank you. Bye-bye.